So I believe you are able to see the screen and hear me, right? Okay. Thank you so much. So thank you for joining in our series of Glimpsing Guruvar. So basically, in this series, these are going to be primarily technical series in which we are going to glimpse on some of the tools and technology which we should be aware about and which will help us and aid us with our testing work which we are currently doing on a day-to-day basis. Even some of the things will help us even if we are acting as functional testers, primarily not using any automation work, okay, as in not using any coding practices. uh, though the word source code management, it can also be used for version controlling of your artifacts which are not code, okay. So it's good to know about these technologies and tools. So let us begin with this concept, okay. So we are going to talk about the source code management, which is basically version controlling systems, and the tool primarily I'm going to talk about is Git. So, what is SCM or VCS? Source code management or version control system is essential to ensuring the code integrity, and this is done by tracking and controlling code changes. Okay, so I found this cartoon on medium.com provided by an author called as Lance Harvey. So basically, you know, while working on a code base, you come across a code which is written that I have no idea what this crappy function does and how and why it works, but it seems to be important, so please don't touch it. So, what essentially we would like to say is that good comments is essential to delivering high quality of work and code. Okay, so that is very much essential. And again, with the help of version controlling, we kind of ensure that with the every commit. Now, what is the word commit doing? What is this command doing? We will talk about it. We provide a message as to what the changes we have made to this particular file, which we are now committing to our main code, so that there is a history of versions which is maintained with the appropriate message, so that if ever we have to go back to the previous file or message, we can figure it out. Now, why do we require a version control system? So let's take a normal scenario, okay? Let's talk about a normal scenario. So in a normal scenario, in a normal working, let's say we were trying to make our resume, okay? A resume document we are trying to make, okay? Now, when you're trying to work on your resume file, have you ever tried to save your resume file with such as version 1, then same file with version 2, and then the same file with version 3? Let's say you are trying to apply somebody as a functional tester, then you are also trying to apply for a role where you are working as an automation tester, okay, and then you are trying to apply for a team lead role, okay. So you have different skill set, and because you have got different skill set, you have different versions of your resume. Or maybe you were working on some file and some data points, and you have some file saved as file a dot txt, file a underscore 8 dot txt, file a underscore a underscore a dot txt. Ever work like that? Test cases maybe in your Excel file handling. Right? We have seen working like that. Now, the problem with these working is that in here, if I want this particular file to go back to this file automatically, will this happen? Or if I want this particular file to revert back to this file, will it happen? Or if I want changes from this file and this file to be merged together, will that happen? Or if I want to figure out the difference between these three files without using any tool, will it be easier for me to do that? The answer to all these questions is no. Okay. So, over a period of time, specifically when you have more than one person working on a particular artifact, now I will not be using the word code in here because I believe that version controlling systems for various artifacts we come across in our testing processes. Now, when more than one person is working on the different artifacts which we see, even one person who is managing the different artifacts he come across in his project, version controlling these artifacts are very important. You may have seen sometimes in your test plan or test strategy document, then on top of the artifact there is a table which says that it's version 1 of the document and this person has modified it, and then it says version 2 of the document and this person has modified it. You might have come across some word document with this type of table maintained. Okay, again, that is manually done. So version controlling of artifacts have become crucial even if it is one person or there is a team involved. Okay. And now, with coming into the words like sprint cycles where everything has become shorter, coming into the world of CI/CDs where everything has been strongly built into some things like pipelines, where different tools have now come into the picture, where we are trying to ensure that every activity is somehow automated. We have to ensure that this activity also is taken care by some kind of tool if there is available and if it can be used to ensure that our work is managed well and our work is taken care by better management, improved quality, and saves time, reduces manual effort, reduces chances of error, reduces data loss. Isn't it? Isn't this the requirement which we are all seeking? So, why do we need BCS? Now we want to know that who has made that change in that file, that artifact, in that code, in that document for that test case. What has changed? If there has been a change which has been made, was something added? Was something moved? Was something deleted? Was the change made within a file or was something added as in file, extra file, some directory, deleted, etc.? Where was the change made? Was it made on a version of a file or a new branch was created? When was the change made? What is the timestamp? Who made that change is discussed, and why was the change made? What was the requirement? What made you make that change? So the five W's are important. Who, what, where, when, and why made that change to that artifact is extremely important for us to understand. Now, a small history of version controlling software. So the first generation was local only. Second generation tried to make it centralized. Okay. The third generation tried to make it decentralized. Finally, where we have Mercurial, Git, Team Foundation Server, etc. Now, some of the common terminologies you should understand if you are talking about a version controlling system is repository, workspace, merging, checking in, checking out, committing, conflict, and merging. Okay, merging I have put in twice. Let me remove one of it. Okay. So what is a repository? Repository is that common place where your complete artifact is available. Okay. And it is under version control. So repository is that common database with the entire revision history, and it is under the version controlling system. Workspace is the copies of the file which is local to every user which you want to edit. Okay, so it's local to me, to you, etc. When I want to say check into a file or directory, it is I am trying to commit the change of my local workspace to the repository. Checkout means I want to check out the current repository information to my local workspace. Committing to a file or a directory means checking in to the main repository. Merging means I'm trying to combine two different code together. Effectively, I'm trying to merge two different working copies of the same file in the main repository. And conflict is when two different developers have made changes to their own working spaces on the same file, and when they are trying to commit them, their work might cause conflict. Okay, and then sometimes they have to sit together and overcome that conflict so that the correct code can be merged to the main repository again. Are you all able to understand these terminologies? Repository, workspace, check in, check out, commit, merge, conflict. Okay. Now, some of the examples of version controlling system which are available out there are Tortoise SCM, Git, Mercurial, Subversion, Team Foundation Server, etc. Now, the one which we are interested is in Git. Now, before I delve into Git and more about it, I would request you all to please install Git on your system. For that, you need to use this command. This is for Windows. Okay, I'm going to use Windows as my operating system for the demo as well as your hands-on, and this indeed is a hands-on session. So please install Git on your Windows machine. After that, install the desktop GitHub version, which you may or may not require. Do these two things, and once you are done, please let me know that you are done with it. So once you download it, just double click on the file which is downloaded. So effectively, once you download it, you will see it as a exe file on your systems. So the latest version is git do.25 64bit.exe is what I downloaded. Then just double click on this exe file to get it installed on your systems. Okay. Uh, right now, just do this. Okay. No need to install the GUI for GitHub. This will not be needed because I will not be using it for the examples I will be showcasing you. But this is something is available and you can keep it, but no need to do it right now. We will talk about it later. Okay, so just download GitHub and double click on it and install it. Just go with the default settings, no need to change anything. Okay, quickly do it please. The next instruction is that you have to open this URL github.com, and on this URL you have to basically create an account. Okay, you have to basically sign up for GitHub and create a free account for yourself. Okay, so this is our first step. Then the second step is open URL www.github.com and create a user account on it. So once you have created a user account on it, using that user account, just sign in on the GitHub account. Okay, done with the account creation as well. Okay, sure. So once your GitHub is installed, you should be able to see an icon called as Git Bash on your desktop. Double click on it. You might see a window which has got a black background. You can change the background color like I did. Okay. So once you have created your GitHub account, let me know so that I can tell you the uh, tell you about Git Bash. Okay. Okay, great. So do you see the Git Bash icon on your desktop? Great. So double click on it. I find the black background less readable. So I always change it to a different color. If it's okay with you guys, then it's fine. Otherwise, you can click here, go to options, and in here change the background to any color, foreground to any color. Okay, and you can change your text font size. For example, right now it is 12. Let me make it 14. Click OK, click apply, save. Okay, so reach till here and just give me a minute. I'll be back. Reach till here, guys. Yes, so I believe we are till here. Yes, we will be doing that. We would be creating the repository first. Although in the generally what happens is we usually have the repository which we have to pull and then do our work, but in here since we are doing everything from scratch, so we will create one and then start working, and then we will do a pull as well. Okay, we will you I will give you access to mine so that you can work on mine, so we will see. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so click on the new icon and create a repository. So you will see an owner and you have a repository name. So create a repository and you call it, let's say, hmm, okay. So my repository name is Holland and I created a repository. Similarly, you can pick your favorite country or any travel destination you would like to go next. Let's say my dream destination is Holland. Okay, you might have one of yours. Take that name, and this is the repository I created. Okay, right now my repository is empty, it has no files. Okay, so go ahead and create yours. Pick any name. of any country you would like to visit next? Should be done, right? Okay, so now in our Git bash, okay? Now Git becomes easier for people who know Linux commands, okay? But nevertheless, even if you don't know, I will try to take a separate session on Linux commands in one of these glimpsing Guruvar sessions. But today it's about SCM and VCS and Git. So I will be talking about a few. So the first thing we do is PWD. PWD tells us present working directory. So my present working directory is C users right. Okay. The next thing I do is I have to change my directory because I am going to create a directory on a folder inside a folder which will hold the files of my Git repository. Okay. So I change to CD space the drive I want to go. CD is change directory. Now if I say pwd, it will show me D. In here I go to my folder, dir is directory, ls is also directory, ls-l is listing all directories. Okay, this tells us about the mode this particular directory or the files inside this particular directory have. Okay, so let's say I want to create a directory mkdir all and repo. Okay, and I say cd all and repo. Now if I say pwd, I am inside the directory I want to be. So go ahead and create a folder on your system where you would like your directory to be available, which will be taking the information or the artifacts which you would like to be shared on the Git. Is this clear what I have just said and done in some of the commands which I have typed? Okay, so once your directory is created, you can also use directly your Windows operating system folder structure to create it, from the front end. That's also okay. I just find this faster, so I did that. In case you are not comfortable here, just use the front end and use the Windows folder structure to create a folder, okay? And then just come here and do a CD to go to that folder. Now, once I'm here, now there is an editor available which is known as Vim editor, okay, which I'm going to use to open a file and write something on it. Okay, so Vim travel.txt escape I to add content. Now this is my file which I have created, okay? If I say ls-l, it will show me that there is a file which is available, okay? Now let me create another file, again vim, and let's say I say news.txt and I do a Google search on Holland, okay? I just want to do a Holland news, okay? Okay, everywhere there is a news on this. I want to read a good news. Mm, come on, give me a good news, yeah. This is good news. Deviating from school hours. Okay, so let's copy this text and let's put it here, okay? And escape WQ. So now I have got two files inside my directory, okay? Now what do I want to do? I want these two files to be made available where? Here, right? Inside this folder, which is on this URL. Is that what I want to do? So I have two artifacts which I want to be version controlled, okay? So I've created two artifacts which I want to be version controlled. So the first thing is I say git initialized. So I initialized my directory as an empty git repository. The next command is I say git add star. The purpose of git add star in here act as a regular expression which basically says git add all files. All the files which are currently available in this directory, add all the files to the git repository. So it will add all the files to the git repository, but where will it add? That where is right now a question mark for us. Are the files right now added? Let's go. No, they are not yet added. So when will they be added? Let's see. Now I say git commit -m, add the artifacts to the repo. So now I am committing. So it says that 2 files changed, 7 insertions, create mode. Okay, now let's go back here and say Holland. Again, right now it is still not inside it. There are two more commands which I need to add, which says git remote add origin and git push origin master. Okay, these are the two more commands which I need to type. So I just say paste. Okay, now let's see, are my files added now? Yes, now my files are added with the commit message. If I say news.txt, is it the same thing which we copied, right? And travel.txt, better? Got it? So now my artifacts are version controlled, okay? Now let us say I open in here vim travel.txt again, okay? I wish to travel Holland someday, ride the city on cycles. It's no longer called Holland, it's Netherlands, okay? Now in here, which is my workspace, okay? On my workspace, my travel.txt shows this text, but here on the main repository, the travel.txt showed this. Why is there a difference? What is that I have not done? Yes, we have not done commit. So until and unless I do commit, I have to say, okay, now if I go, do I see the modified information? Yes, I now see the modified information. Is it clear? Yes, we need to add the files as well because committing is going to just commit the changes. But before committing, it needs to know what is the changes you are trying to commit. Okay. Now, I believe you have created a directory on your system. Okay. And what we have available is a repository information. Okay. So we have a Git repository available from which now we will try to take information from. So have you created a directory on your system? So the second way which we generally see in our work is that we try to pull information from. Okay. So is a directory created? So let's try the next set of commands. So I would request, okay, just create a directory and just go to that directory from the git bash. Okay, so I will also do the same. So no need to create a repository on the git. We will work on this repository only. Later you can try creating a repository. So everything else will be the same except that you have not created the repository. So if you have created it directly, just let me know. Okay. Done creating a repository on Git. Okay. Have you created a folder on your system? Okay, directory. Great. So the command now which we will try is git pull with the repository URL. Okay. So let's see if I have my repository URL available. I should have. So this is my repository URL. Let me share it with you. Okay. So this is our example URL. So I have created a directory also, a separate directory on my system on which I would try to use this command. So I would say git pull and this command. I got an error, not a git repository. So the first thing we do is git init always. Now let's say git pull this one. Okay. Now if I say dir in here, I will have my two files available. So go ahead and please do this. When we say git init, it converts a normal folder into a git repository. And I hope you have noticed that there is a, in bracket there is this word master which is being written. Have you noticed this? In bracket there is this word master written. Okay. Are you able to see the files on your system? The ones which I have created in my repository by using git pull and the URL of my repository, the news.txt and travel.txt. So if you see the folder from the front end, so for example here, you should be able to see the files. Okay, so here are the files. Done. You are able to pull the repository and the files are now on your system. Yes, no, maybe. Okay, great, awesome. Now, what I want you to do is, I want you to create a file and add and commit it to the Holland Git repository on your own. So say vim, and let's say you create a file called as sports.txt, and in here you write some information, whatever you think you want to write, and then you move forward with the commands, which is git add star followed by git commit dash m ports file added, and then you have to add two more commands, which are so please do these steps so that we can see. Right, I would tell you, you have to say escape WQ. So when you say Vim Sports I, write some, you have to say, you have to press the escape key. So you have to press the escape key plus I. Okay, so basically you say escape I. So it will come to the insert mode. Then you type some text. Then you press the escape key and say colon WQ. That would save the file and quit. Clear? So like you are creating sports file, at the same time I would like to also create a file. Okay, so we both are working at this time. So you create sports, I create, let's say, entertainment.txt, and I say escape I. It will take me to the insert mode. Now I say git add star git commit dash m entertainment file added. Okay, and then I have to say okay, since I created a new directory, I have to first add origin, then origin master. Okay, so done adding my file. Let me know when you are done so that we can check. Escape colon WQ. So vim test.txt escape colon WQ. Got it? If you're finding it difficult, just go to the front end. Okay. Here, go ahead and create your file. That is also okay. So, okay, that's too much. I just add this information, save, okay, and that's it. If I say ls, first I have to remove this. Now again, git add star, git commit dash m science file added. Okay, if you have created the file, then say git add star, git commit m sports file added, and then remote add origin, give the URL, and git push origin master. So my files got added entertainment science. Now if once you add and commit and push the file, your file will also get added to the repository. So when you are done, let me know. No problem. That's okay. So you should be able to see your file. Or if you want, you can try later. What do you would like to do? I just have to, because we have just few more minutes left. I would like to make you. I would just wanted to tell you about. Okay, fine. So basically, as we work on Git, so if you face any challenge, just feel free to let me know. Okay. So when we talk about Git, there are three important stages in Git: the working directory, which on which we were currently working, the staging area, which is the intermediate area, and the final repository, which is our main repository on the internet. So when you say git add, it basically gets added to the staging area, the intermediate area. And when we say git commit, from the staging area, it gets committed to the repository. Now, there are further more terminologies which we have to understand as we are working with the version control system. So you have the main branch, which is known as the master branch, in which the initial commit was made. For example, right now we are working on the master branch, the main management line. From that one, we basically pick out further branches. For example, this is the branch for version 1 artifact, which can be further branched to the version 2 artifact. Okay. And then there could be different tags added for adding different feature, fixing a bug, okay, etc., etc. So if you do a Google search, you will find a lot and lot of resources and information about git commands. What important for us is to basically understand, as a industry programmer or somebody who would like to use git for their artifact management, even though you are not a programmer, but for your artifact management you would like to be that smart tester who would like to use a version control system, because there is something available for all of us. We can use git to fulfill that request. Now, a small anecdote about git. Git is not an acronym. Okay. So git was basically created by Linus Torvalds, the same person who created the Linux environment, and it can mean anything depending upon our mood. Okay. It may mean get, okay, which is the mispronunciation of the command get. It Get also means, it's basically a slang word in British English, which means stupid, contemptible, and despicable. It also means global information tracker if you are in a good mood and it is actually working, or it means goddamn idiotic truckload of shit when it breaks. Okay, so this is effectively directly by Linus Torvalds. Okay, so I took it from Curora while I was searching if Git is an acronym or not. Now, there is a small practice exercise for you guys to try. So you can create a new repository on GitHub. First of all, you can try the same one which we were talking about. Pull it on your local system, create a branch called as version 1, create another branch called as version 2. We now have three branches, the main one and two more branches. In the main branch, we add file 1. In the branch 1, you add file 1, file 2. In branch 3, we add file 3. And in the main branch, we add common.txt, which again will be added in all three branches. Now do some work in different branches and merge the master with branch 1, then master with branch 2 and master with branch 3. Observe the output. Okay. So this is an exercise which I would like you all to practice. Okay. So I will just tell you how we can create a branch. So what do we mean by creating a branch in terms of if I call about artifact? Is it okay if I can take 5 more minutes of your time? Since we waited for some time for others to join. Okay, thank you. So let's talk about the word branching in here. Okay. So let's say there is this main test case document which we have. Now our product has is available in different languages. Let's say our product is a it's a travel website and it's available in English, in French, in German, etc., etc. Okay. Now, obviously, the expected messages will change, right? Depending upon the language we are looking at. So, the test cases which we have written, their expected messages will change if the language will change, right? For English, it would be English. For German, we would want to see the German expected messages. For French, we would like to see the French expected messages. Now, as in later, you know different languages are added as the company expands and outfits on in different countries. It could be possible, though maybe not, that some new features get introduced depending upon the location where that hotel is available. Okay. Maybe, let's say maybe the hotel menu changes, etc., etc. So maintaining all this information in the same file is definitely not advisable. So we have a main core file which has got some common features, and then we create these branches. Okay. So we have a branch dealing with British, dealing with Australia, dealing with New Zealand, dealing with India, dealing with USA, etc., etc., of the same test kit document, where we have created these different branches where each branch is managing its own version of the same file. Do I make sense? Are you able to understand what I'm trying to tell you? Now you can imagine this in the terms of code base as well. So you have the same product, and for the product code base, different versions are created. So you have a code management which gets enabled if the language English is chosen. So the branch of English code is available. Then a branch of French code is available. Then a branch of Indian Hindi code is available, which suits with the Hindi language, etc. So, how do we create a branch? How do we make changes in the branch? How do we then see that branch along with the master and then merge it? So, let's do that. Okay. And here. So, I say the command is git branch. So, I say git branch. Now, I am on Holland. I say version 1. Okay. Now, I have to check out version 1. So, I say git checkout word 1. Do you see this has changed from master to word 1? Now if I say ls, my files are here. Okay. The files from master have been moved to version 1, the branch. If you see in here, you will see that it has got one branch. Okay. Since I have not done commit and add, I will not be able to see that branch. Okay. So now let me make some change. Mm, so Vim, where did I say travel was easy? Because I was only writing it. It's Netherlands. I think Netherlands only has tulips. I may be wrong. I am not sure. This I made change in the version 1 branch. Okay. So same thing, git add, git commit. Travel file changed. Now git. Now here we say git push u origin version 1, not origin master, because we want to make change in the branch. Okay. Now let's see if we see the branch. Do you see two branches in here? Now here is my branch master. If I open travel.txt in here, my last line is it's Netherlands. In here, if I go back and I change it to version 1, my last line has changed, right? It has tulip gardens. I think I may be wrong. Okay. So my branch is created. Is this clear? So now I have so I have got a modified code or a modified artifact of my travel which some other team member is managing. Now I would like to merge this change. Okay. So what do? I say git checkout master because now I want to merge it to the master. And I say git merge ver 1. Okay. Then git add star because if we don't do that, it will not get modified. Now let's see, we are in master. It's merged. Okay. So the change which happened in branch 1 was now merged with the master. Clear? So the practice question. So you have now two practice uh, topics to be done. One is the example which I showed you with the Holland repository, and second one with the branching. Okay. First is you can either create your own repository and work on it, or you can just go ahead and pull this Holland repository and start working on it. So this Holland repository would be available for you all to practice. Okay. Yes, so this particular document which I have created in here, notes, since you have registered for the webinar, I will share it with you. I have your email ID. I will be sharing it with you, the recording and the notes which I have generated in here. So you get all this information. And thank you so much for joining the webinar. Uh, is there any feedback you can please provide me so that I can work on it? Thank you. Thank you. Any feedback on improving the webinar? Anything which would have helped you more? Let me know about it. Okay. Thank you. So you will receive a small feedback mail after the session. It will take you hardly few seconds to fill it. It would help me, work on the content, and because I'm trying to make this a habit. Uh, because I also learn along with it. And Git is very interesting, and it's just not for programmers. It's for anybody who has a lot of artifacts and they have to they have this problem of version management. Okay, so go ahead and start using it. You will enjoy. Okay, then, not taking much of your time. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good evening and a good weekend ahead. Bye. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.